just off the top of your head, what do you how would you describe Las Cruces?
So I actually just did a YouTube video and I think I described it perfectly, where it's kind of like one of those Hallmark movies that you go to. It's like a small town vibe where we do have over 100,000 people, even though it's a big city, it's second largest city in New Mexico. But it is like one of those Hallmark movies where it's just a small town vibe.
Help, I need some guidance. Help, selling and buying. Help, I need some real estate. Help,
Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk.
help.
This week, we're going to continue our tour of New Mexico. We're going to talk about Las Cruces, New Mexico, and everything going on in that part of the country. Of course, this is Tego Venturi, always here talking about the real estate in the Albuquerque area. But a few weeks ago, we talked to Brian from the Farmington area, learned all about what's going on in Farmington. This time, we're doing a trip south to see what's going on in Cruces.
Woo.
And Casey, welcome. We say
Thank you.
cruises, right? I mean, is that, like, appropriate, or should we really say Las Cruces?
No, Cruces. I mean, I feel like the people that aren't from here are going to be more formal and say Las Cruces. And of course, in my videos, I say Las Cruces, but we all say Cruces. So you're good.
Cruces. Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
that's what we say up here in Albuquerque.
Okay.
So you're a real estate broker. How long have you been doing real estate?
Yeah. 13 years.
Oh my gosh. You started young.
I did. I did.
You're
I have done more listings and been to more listing presentations and more showings than most people double my age, mainly because both of my parents are also in real estate. So I've had to go through all their
Yes.
showings and everything that they've done. I was kind of tagged along with everything. So I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, you're second generation, and, of course, I know your parents are they're wonderful, wonderful people, and I
They
know your
are.
mom's really given back, and so but that's Alamogordo, so they grew up in Alamogordo, which I mean, you grew up in Alamogordo, obviously, because 'cause they're
Hmm.
there, right? Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah.
What brought you to Las Cruces?
Well, I went to college here in Las Cruces, and that's
Yep.
actually when I got my license straight out of college. My senior year of college, actually, I took all the classes, and right as I graduated, I got my license. So, um, but my husband is actually here, and I was living in Alamogordo, and I was ready for a little bit bigger of a city. So he was here and finally made the move over here, and I love it. I mean, Alamogordo's good. It was a great place to grow up, but Las Cruces just has a little bit more to do and a little bit more things. So I love it here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny because we think about Albuquerque as the big city in New Mexico,
Yes,
but yet we're still kind of a small big town, and you get and I'm sure down there you get much more of that small town vibe. So
for sure.
I guess let me ask that. I mean, what is the vibe? What is the community like? Just off the top of your head, what do you how would you describe Las Cruces?
So I actually just did a YouTube video and I think I described it perfectly, where it's kind of like one of those Hallmark movies that you go to. It's like a small town vibe where we do have over 100,000 people, even though it's a big city, it's second largest city in New Mexico. But it is like one of those Hallmark movies where it's just a small town vibe. We have lots of different festivals and local events, and everybody goes to it because we don't have a ton of big city life here and events here because we don't have pro sports teams. We don't have like all these crazy events, but we do have small town festivals. And so everybody goes to it, and it's just like a more fun kind of community vibe that everybody knows everybody and everybody goes to it all because you're going to see all your friends there.
Well, and you've got a pretty good sports, entity with New Mexico State and the Aggies,
Hmm.
and of course, they were they've been in the NCAA's a few times back in the day, right? Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, so that is your it's kinda like here too, with the Lobos in Albuquerque,
right.
that's kinda like the big sports here because we don't have real well, we have a major or soccer now, which is pro, which is pretty big, but anyway,
It's pretty
that's
cool.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's just kind of talk about real estate because obviously that's what both of us do.
Yeah.
What is like, what's the housing market like? How's it evolved over the years? How would you describe real estate there?
I think compared to Albuquerque and other places, we are one of the most affordable places in New Mexico. I mean, Alamogordo is certainly more affordable than Las Cruces, but we have a a huge diversity as far as housing. So we have tons and tons of new construction. And of course, I don't know if it's like that in Albuquerque, but here in Las Cruces, most of the builders are offering incentives to help out first-time home buyers or just really anybody. It's not even just the first-time home buyers, but clearly that helps. And so as far as housing is concerned, we have the new construction, we have the resale, and then we do have some luxury, but I mean, we're talking like 10 listings total in the luxury market at one given
What would you
time.
what price point would you call luxury in Las Cruces?
I would say like 800 and above because our
Yeah.
average price point is roughly 300,000. It's slightly below 300,000. So that's the average price point. Yes.
Of
But I
course, I
mean,
got all the
compared,
numbers right. That's what
oh,
I
I know you
do.
do. Am I right? Am I on?
No, you're right. So median sale price in December, so this
Hmm.
is February of 25 that we're talking. So median sale price in December was right at 300,000. So that's, the middle price for everything that's sold,
Hmm.
and that's about 50,000 less than the Albuquerque market, just for perspective. And, uh, and so, yeah, I mean, that's like you say, it's more affordable.
Yeah,
Um, so so you have your prices, and let me just pull up some data here because I think it's pretty, so your prices,
I love it.
you had the big run up during the, pandemic years, just like everybody else. Based on
Hmm.
what I found is Las Cruces home prices have increased about 55% over the last 5 years, and that's, pretty consistent, and then over the last year or so, it's about 2.5% is what I'm seeing in price appreciation in Las Cruces, which is actually good. It's moderate, it's not getting ahead of itself, um, and it seems like that's one of the the cool things about Las Cruces, at least on the housing side, is you're still relatively affordable compared to a lot of other places, especially in the Southwest.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it took until 2020 for our houses to finally kind of catch up with the rest of the world because after the 2008 bust, I should say, um, houses kind of stayed stagnant and appraisers weren't allowing houses to appreciate. And it took us, like, we bought a house around that same time, and it took, I feel like, almost 10 years just to come to value again here in Las Cruces because just houses were not appreciating. And
Yeah.
around 2020, finally, we were able to get that appreciation and houses finally started coming to what it should have been. Like we were one of the last markets in the United States to kind of finally come to like current value of what the home should be. And so, yes, and then it quickly rose and everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? Like we could have got a new construction house. I bought a house that was like a year and a half old. It was a short sale from a person and they bought it for 140,000, a brand new construction home. And I bought it from them. And I mean, they still owed 140. So I was able to buy a new construction home before the pandemic, before everything hit. So now that same home is 300,000. It's just wild how much it has increased. And I mean, everywhere, obviously, we all saw it, but now that appreciation is much, much slower.
Yeah, no, and during the pandemic years, you probably remember me talking about just like this is not good. We cannot have 15% year per
No.
year price appreciation. So now over the last few years that things have moderated, that's actually good news. But New Mexico as a whole has been moderated, but there hasn't been a pullback like there are in a few other markets like Austin or
Yeah.
Phoenix. So okay, that's it. That's it on housing economy. Let's just talk about living in Las Cruces, more kind of lifestyle things. And so obviously there's the Oregon Mountains, kind of like here in Albuquerque, we've got the sandias right here on top of the town. So you've got those.
Hmm.
You've got, hiking, outdoors, backpacking, a lot of outdoor activities. Would you say that's one of the things you love about Las Cruces? I'm putting words in your mouth now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, that's like a huge draw for people to come to Las Cruces because of our outdoors. I feel like our weather is another one. It's fairly mild for a deserty place, right? Like you guys have way more seasons than us. And I
Yeah.
mean, we might have like a day of a season, right? Like it might snow for a day and then it's done. And we kind of get cold. I think hot and windy are like our two seasons, and that's like really it, unless you count like green chili season, and then we'll count that as well. But like the seasons
Oh,
and the
we're gonna talk
weather.
about green chili. Oh, you wait. We
Okay,
are
good.
definitely talking about green chili. No,
Good.
but but,
Good.
but yeah, so when you say hot though, it's not I try to caution people because people that don't know the Southwest, they lump us together with, Phoenix, Tucson, right? And it's like,
Yeah,
no, 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 it's not
it's
that kinda
different.
hot. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
different hot.
totally different. So I actually have a client that I just showed houses to 2 days ago that they're moving in from Tucson, and they're like, "This is totally a different heat. Like we get up to like 120, and you guys 105. That's a walk in the park, and it never cools down." So here in Las Cruces, we might get up to 105, maybe a little bit higher occasionally, but it cools down at night. Like it is nice, and I couldn't tell you how much it cools down. It obviously depends on the weather, but it's really nice and you can actually relax at nighttime. Whereas in Tucson, they're like you just sweat year round and it's hot all the time and it's just miserable. So it is nice and it's a dry heat. We don't have humidity. And I know that you guys have a little bit, but we are just like
Yeah,
just completely dry heat, which is nice. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
as far as like everything, the weather and the outdoors are key factors here in Las Cruces.
Kinda other lifestyle stuff. Obviously, you've a lot of history in Las Cruces. You wanna talk about that a
Hmm.
little bit?
Yeah, have you heard of Billy the Kid?
I have.
He's kind of a big name here in Las Cruces. Actually, in the Mesilla area, we have the Mesilla Plaza, and that's where Billy the Kid kind of roamed the streets, and that's where he was arrested. One of the places, and I actually just found this out recently, and I didn't know this, but La Posta is a restaurant here. It's a cool. I actually send like most of my buyers there just to like that are relocating here, just because the vibe is so cool and it's just different. um, According to what I researched, that used to be the jail, and that's where Billy the Kid was housed at one point in jail.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's true. I just read it on the internet and I was like, whoa, that's interesting fact because I didn't realize it was La Posta that used to be the jail. But um, yeah, so Billy the Kid was used to run the streets and so it's pretty cool. So there is definitely a lot of history here in Las
Yeah,
Cruces in the Mesilla area.
yeah, definitely a lot of Old West history when you think about,
Yes.
Las Cruces, and then you think about over in Arizona with Bisbee and all those things too. Just a lot of cool history in that part of our country.
Oh yeah.
Now you guys have a sister city, which is actually in Texas. Would you consider El Paso a sister city, or is it just different?
So I call, and they don't call it this. This is like kind of my own interpretation of what El Paso is. I feel like they're like the redheaded stepchild of Texas because they're so far removed from all things Texas, and like we have adopted them as our own. And I feel like they're more part of New Mexico than they are Texas. But I mean, I'm sure they don't feel that way because people from Texas are very proud to be from Texas. My family is from Texas, so I totally get it. But I feel like they're definitely more part of our town and kind of merging. Las Cruces and Alamogordo are kind of merging into El Paso. And I feel like it's all going to be very close and tied together at some point. It's definitely closer than when I grew up and drove to Texas. But yeah, I mean, that's the airport that we fly out of. Yeah, it's like a second city to us for sure.
And there's, obviously where you're at, you're New Mexico, and then and then El Paso, you're in Texas, and then suddenly you're in Mexico too, because obviously when you're
Correct.
in El Paso, you're looking at Mexico, right? And so
Yes.
all those cities kind of blend together. I mean, it really makes for a really interesting cultural mix there, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think sometimes people get shell shocked when they come here and visit here for the first time, um, because there's a lot of Spanish speaking here, especially in El Paso. Like if you go shopping, most of the department stores, you I feel like Spanish is like the number one language and then English is not. And so when people do travel here, they're not used to it. And they're like, whoa, like I wasn't expecting that. So I think it's a kind of a cool vibe just because you're in New Mexico and you're in America, but you get so much more culture than you would other places. And I personally love it, but it's just something to take note on and be like, all right, you don't have to brush up on Spanish or anything, but um it's certainly there. And if you wanted to learn it, you absolutely could.
Yeah, yeah. What other are there like the big annual events? Like we think about Albuquerque and then we think about the Balloon Fiesta, right? That's just like our
Hmm.
big annual event. What type of stuff do you like look forward to in that area in Las Cruces?
Yeah. So so I'm just going to piggyback on the balloon festival. We have White Sands is right down the road from us, and we have the White Sands International Balloon Festival. So we do have our own tiny little festival, and it's totally different because the balloons rise against the white sand, and it's just so majestic and really cool looking. And then we used to have, and maybe one day we'll get it back, but the whole enchilada festival, and they would have like award like Guinness Book of World Record type size enchiladas that they'd make, but then it also was paired with a softball tournament, and they don't have that anymore. Like only the last couple of years they've eliminated it, but man, it was so much fun and people from all over would come in for the whole enchilada festival. It was very fun. But we do have Dia de los Muertos festival downtown, and like the Day of the Dead is very like that festival is really, really big here, and the Burning Man, and they have some cool cultural relevant festivals here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of food, so
Hmm.
up here in Albuquerque, we talk about, we're New Mexican food. We're not Mexican food. It's
Correct.
different.
It
What
is
would you
different.
say about that? Because you've got Texas, so you got that kind of Tex-Mex, you've got Mexico, and then you've got New Mexico cuisine. So how would you
Yeah.
what would you well, what would you say about that?
I think we are very much I wouldn't even consider us Tex-Mex, even though we are close to El Paso. Again, I don't really think that their food is anything close to like Texas food because Texas Mexican food is kind of like jalapenos and they don't know what green chilies are. And again, my family's from San Antonio, so I can say this stuff because when we go to visit and we're like, hey, can we get green chili? They're like, here's some jalapenos or here's some bell peppers, and they don't understand what green chili is. Or the few times we've asked for it, it's been a mess. But I don't think that we really have Tex-Mex, but we have, I think, more just Mexican food. Because we do have, we've been, I think, so influenced by their culture because it's still alive and well here. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that like we've been taught by the best as far as food goes. And then, yes, it's much, much different when you go to Albuquerque for the Mexican food, for sure. And then of course ours is just heavily um, sprinkled with green chili or red chili on everything, including ice cream and wine. Like it's crazy.
Well, okay, so we gotta talk about green chili. Well, let's talk just about agriculture in general because,
Sure.
I think of cruises and when I drive there, you see the pecan orchards, right?
Hmm.
And then you see, you drive through Hatch kind of when you're, taking the highway there. Um,
Yeah.
so Hatch is obviously Hatch Valley is known for the famous Hatch green chili. Um,
Hmm.
but again, it's also the pecans, right? What else? Is it pistachios too, maybe? A lot of that? Or
So
am I wrong?
Alamogordo is, yeah, well, Alamogordo is mainly the pistachios. Like they have several, like two huge places that do a lot of pistachios there in Alamogordo. We do we have just a lot of agriculture in general. Of course, our green chili, we have cotton, onion. We have a ton of onion farmers, which I didn't really
Interesting.
realize until older I got. Like, I'm like, oh, you own that onion farm? Got it. Like, there's a lot of people that have onion farming. And then just a lot of different kind of agriculture that I don't think most people suspect goes on because we all just know about our pecans. But of course, they grow up higher and it's a lot bigger of an industry than anything else. Um, and then, of course, we have our New Mexico State University Green Chili Institute, and it's an ag college. So there's a lot of different agriculture here.
Yeah, in New Mexico State University is kind of known for their ag school, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
100% an ag. I mean, there's clearly different majors, but it is an ag school through and through. Like that's what it started out as.
Yeah, got it, got it. So
Hmm.
what do you see, like, how do you see well, I'm trying to think of the right question here. I'm just trying to, like, look into the future a little bit, and if somebody was thinking about, different places in the Southwest, maybe they wanna they're looking for a place to retire, someplace a little warmer than maybe they live now, or maybe even cooler if they live in Tucson. Um,
Yeah.
what's gonna be the draws that somebody's gonna just give us your sales pitch, elevator pitch for Las Cruces. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Um, so my favorite thing about Las Cruces, and if you check my Instagram, I'm halfway obsessive over it, is our sunsets and our sunrises. Like if you want pure beauty every single day when you wake up, even though we live in a desert, even though there's a lot of dirt around, the sunsets and sunrises are so magical. Like even my kids will run in and be like, "Mom, you have to go and check out this sunset. It's so beautiful." Like kids appreciate it, which I think says a lot. So if you're just wanting beauty and kind of being able to see the sky, because so many people, like I talk to friends and they're like, we can't, like, there's buildings, we don't see the sky. Like, you can't, it's too, like the smog or whatever. You can actually see the sky, you can see the stars. And I think that that's a huge draw for me and for people that like the beauty and like the land of enchantment is what we're called. And there's a reason for it. And it's just so amazing. And if you love the outdoors, absolutely the best place to be because our weather, you can go hiking at any time of the year and it's still okay. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. You can function no matter when it is. Um, and we don't get crazy weather events. Like we don't have tornadoes. Okay, we did just have that earthquake. I don't know if you guys felt it up in Albuquerque. I didn't feel it here, but there was a earthquake that started in Texas, but none of us felt
Oh,
it.
yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like like once in a lifetime. I've lived here for a long time. I've never even heard of that. But we don't have weather events. It's just such the most mild climate you could ever possibly want. And I think that that's a huge draw. Plus, you can go outside and not sweat to death. It's hot, but it's a dry heat. And I think that those are all huge things. And it's just you can get from one side of town to the other. Traffic's not crazy. There's no big shopping. That's like a negative, but also like it's it's just a small town feel, which I think that that is so important, and I think that's a huge, huge draw to moving here to Las Cruces.
So this is a risky question because I don't know the answer,
Okay.
but do you go to Mexico to go shopping ever? To the markets?
No, so I'm way too big of a chicken to
Okay.
go to the market. If I went with a friend that spoke Spanish, I would probably feel more comfortable with it. Um, but I have friends that go. I'm just a chicken and I don't like I'll go into Mexico, but Juarez scares me a little bit. I don't know if it should or not, but maybe from like childhood horror stories when I grew up in college, my parents threatened me never to go to Juarez, so I never did, and I still haven't
Well,
ever
they
been,
they
but
were
that could be
probably
from them.
smart. They're probably smart during college.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. They're like,
yeah,
we will not pay for your housing if you go to Juarez. And I'm like, done. And I still haven't been. But I do
yeah,
know friends that go there all the time and go to the mercados there and go shopping.
yeah.
And it's a great place to go for sure.
No, and I remember, I mean, it's been a long time, but it's just a totally different experience, and,
Yes.
it just it depends what you're comfortable with for sure, and you definitely have to get your sales negotiation skills, brushed up because, man,
Right?
they're good, man. They are good at those, and that's half the fun of those markets, so I think.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
okay, so we could just probably keep talking and talking, but anything else you wanna share before we wrap here?
I think if you're, thinking about coming to Las Cruces or just making a trip to come out, I actually have a guide to Las Cruces, and it has tons of great restaurants to go to. We have different wineries, and by that way, agriculture, just to touch back on that question, we actually have wineries and vineyards here. And so like we're like the cheap Napa Valley. So if you did need to go to like if you can't afford Napa, you can come to Las Cruces and go and get your wine here in Las Cruces. But I do have this guide that tells all the best places to go, all of my favorite places, because you look up online, and I don't know if those are necessarily the best places. These are my personal favorites or my clients' favorite places to go. Um, and all of the different hikes to go to, all the different places to see, day trips to go to. So if you are interested in visiting here, then I can provide that guide to you guys.
And segue right into, how do people connect with you to get that guide, or just talk to you about Las Cruces?
Yeah, so I'm huge on Instagram. I mean, I'm not like a big, huge person on Instagram, but that is my main place to be, is Instagram. So I love connecting with people on Instagram. So they can get the guide there or go to my YouTube channel, and I talk more about the guide and living in Las Cruces there.
Give me your full contact information so people can get a hold of you, and your
Yeah.
Instagram handle, of course.
Okay, so there is an underscore in between each one. I did not make it easy on myself to say what my handle is, but it's Kacie Las Cruces Realtor, and underscore in between each word. And then my YouTube channel is just at Kacie Henke.
Got it. Perfect, Kacie.
Yes,
And your phone
sir.
number.
940-232-5573.
By the way, this is Tego Venturi with Venturi Group in Albuquerque, also with Real Broker, and you can reach us at 505-448-8888. Kacie, thanks so much. This has been enlightening, very informative, learned a lot. Sounds great. It's interesting. Like I
Appreciate
said, I
it.
talked to Brian Crawford from Farmington here a few weeks ago. Now I'm like, we've got some really great places around New Mexico that are still affordable, have great year-round weather, lots of outdoor activities. I mean, really, both communities, Farmington and Cruces, are just, if you're, I think of great places for retirement, especially if you like the outdoors. Either one,
Absolutely.
because like in Farmington, you can drive for an hour and a half, and you're at a world class ski area up in Colorado. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Well, you could drive
and
an hour and a half and get to Ski Apache here. So we
ski
do have
Apache.
some
There you go.
skiing. Yeah, we have some
Well, but
skiing
you
nearby.
have, okay, now we were almost wrapping. No, I gotta say, I mean, but you've got White Sands. I mean, talk about a
Hmm.
world-class destination. That
Yes.
place is amazing, especially when you go on the full moon, right? They do that. Did they still do that
Yes.
every month?
They do. So they
So,
do the full moon tours. Yes. And people get married
and
out there. People have family photos out there. It's incredible.
on those, I went one time with the kids when they were really young, and, on the full moon night, it's like daytime because
Yeah.
you're on that white sand and it's all shiny. It is,
Reflective.
yeah, yeah, it's
So try
beautiful.
to go during the balloon festival and see the balloons glow against the sand. If you think the full moon is magical, the balloon festival is magical.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, again, thank you so much. Great information.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you around, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. If you've got any questions about real estate, either in Las Cruces or Albuquerque, just look us up. You'll find us. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.